optimized for one reality now ask to perform in another. She does not ask for replacement. She asks for adjustment. A different approach to lubrication, a change in preparation, a recognition that the gun does not exist alone, but as part of a system that includes air temperature, vibration, and time. The response is cautious, not because she is wrong, but because she might be right. If she is right, then the war has been losing men for a reason that could have been fixed. That is a difficult truth to accept, so the decision is made to test quietly without announcement. A handful of aircraft, a limited run, the kind of experiment that does not threaten doctrine unless it succeeds. As the preparations begin, she returns to her bench. She cleans her tools. She writes one last note in her pocketbook, not a prediction, a question. If the gun speaks differently in the cold, will anyone be listening when it finally speaks clearly? If you believe equipment failures should be treated as acceptable losses in war, say so in the comments. If you believe one careful observer can change outcomes, say that instead. Choose your side and explain why. The tests do not begin with aircraft. They begin with patience. The bench becomes a battlefield measured in thousandths of an inch and fractions of a second. Every assumption is stripped down to motion and resistance. She times the cycle by feel first, then by instrument counting the subtle lag between trigger pull and full battery. At room temperature, the gun behaves like doctrine promises. In cold, it does not. The bolt slows just enough to arrive late. The spring returns just shy of its designed force. The belt feeds, then hesitates, then twists. Not always, not dramatically, but often enough to matter. She recreates altitude without leaving the ground as best she can. Ice baths, chilled oil, cold-soaked components left overnight until the metal no longer wants to cooperate. She changes one variable at a time and refuses to accept coincidence. When the lubrication thickens, the timing slips. When the timing slips, the feed window narrows. When the window narrows, vibration does the rest. The gun does not fail loudly. It fails quietly at the exact moment when noise is required. The insight arrives without ceremony. The weapon is being prepared for a world that no longer exists. The lubrication specified in manuals was chosen for reliability across many environments, but not this one. At 25,000 feet, the oil is no longer oil. It is a brake. The spring rates perfectly acceptable on the ground are marginal when cold steals elasticity. The belt path forgiving at sea level becomes intolerant when tolerances shrink.